All right, so this is kind of like a mood board that I kind of want to create yourself. Yes, cool, Lara. Thank you so much. It worked now. Awesome. Thanks guys for your patience. Sorry about the difficulties. I had to set up everything new, so it was kind of challenging. All right, so we have a couple of pictures here. Let me quickly see what else I can add to this. How are you guys doing on this Sunday? Let me know. This one is also pretty cool. Also, drop names for the chocolate brand. What's a name that you guys think could work for a chocolate brand? Something interesting, you know, something that's a little bit different than everything else, so we kind of can create something original. All right. Yeah, just gonna drop in some photos and let's see where this will lead us. So I'm gonna go back on Pinterest. Let's see. Oops. All right. This one is also cool. There we go. I'm waiting for brand names from you guys. Okay. Yeah, this is cool. I think these are the same brand, and this is just a different view of those. All right. So if I think, oh, those are all three the same. Okay, highly inspired by Mast. All right, let's pick out some colors real quick. We have a very, very tight program today because we are going to be using 4 different softwares. And so I'm very excited about that. And so right now I'm just copy pasting little squares, like little shapes that I've created with my rectangle tool. And I'm just going to drop in some colors just to create some color palettes for ourselves. Chocotillo, Ivana, that's a good one. Koko Choco, that's also cool. My voice is buzzing still. Let's see. Let's see. Hopefully this is better. Let's see. Cacao. All right, Chocotillo, we have Coco Choco, we have Cacao. All right, I need more, guys. Come up with something really, really cool. All right, so I'm using my eyedropper tool just to get some colors from the color palettes that we have here. So I think these are pretty cool already. Now let's just copy paste them, and then we're just gonna fill these squares with different colors just to create a different color palette. So for that, I'm just have to pick the rectangle or the square that I want to fill with color, and then I'm clicking I, and that already gives me the shortcut for the eyedropper tool. And I also really like this orange, for example. It's really, really nice. And all right, now I'm gonna get into this square, and what color am I going to pick? Let's see, maybe some of like that, some like darker green. All right. Hi, Joturmia, good to see you. Good to see you. It's great that the sound is better now. I'm happy about that. Okay, so let's see what else we can do here. This pink here is also very interesting. Okay. By the way, if you click V, you get back to this arrow thing, and if you click I, you get the eyedropper tool. So V for the arrow, for the select tool. So now I'm going to select this rectangle, and I for the eyedropper tool. So I'm going to grab one of these colors. This one is also pretty nice here. I think this one is a little brighter, so that's better. And again to V, my select tool. So I'm going to select another rectangle, and I for eyedropper again. What colors did we not get yet? Let's see, maybe this darker red, and again V, select my rectangle, I. All right, looks like we have some colors. We are missing some lighter tones that we can use. So let's say maybe something like this. So yeah, I guess we can use this light gray, and maybe let me grab another one of these just so we have some variety. Maybe this one. Yeah. Okay guys, so we have a bunch of colors now. Now let's quickly jump into creating some shapes for our brand. And I really see there is a lot of stuff that's already pretty inspiring here, but I want to create my own, of course. So I'm just going to create a new artboard. So I'm just going to, oh, Sweet Delight, also good. Recoleta. Recoleta sounds good too. All right, so guys, to use the artboard tool to copy and paste an artboard, usually it takes all the artwork that's on the artboard with it. But I just want to copy paste the empty artboard. So on the right side, you will have this little check mark that says move artwork with artboard, and I'm going to uncheck this because I want to copy paste just the artboard without the artwork. Brr, 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 brr. Okay, so let's just copy paste the colors in here, and now let's go ahead and look at our shapes. So we have a lot of very organic shapes, and here we also have some squares, you know, that kind of pattern. This type of pattern is probably made with a pen tool, so you can go ahead and grab the pen tool here, and then you can go ahead and do shapes like that. Bam, 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 bam. Very easy. And now we can already kind of, but I don't want to copy this design, so I'm just going to Command X. I'm going to remove this whole thing. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create like a rectangle, and then I'm going to slice it up into parts. So I'm just dragging and not dragging and dropping, I'm just using the rectangle tool, and then I'm going to use the pen tool. Where's my pen tool? It's here by the brush, pencil tool, I mean. So now I'm just going to create like random lines, la 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 la. It can be really anything you guys want. It can be as random as this, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more that are going to go the other way. Okay, kind of like this. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these three, and I want to create this little pattern that kind of reminds of, you know, like a square pattern, but I don't want it to be quite perfect. That's why I use the pen tool, the pencil tool, to create a kind of like these, you know, random shapes, more random shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto the Pathfinder, and I'm going to click the three dots here, and I'm going to click divide. So now we have our shape divided into, basically we sliced it open with these paths that I created with the pencil tool. So now we can click on any single part of this and change up the color. So for now I'm just going to ungroup this, and I'm going to remove all these sides here because we don't need them really. I mean, we could actually use them, but I think they're kind of sharp, and I don't think we can use them at all for this. So now, as you can see, I have this sliced up rectangle, and now I can really go inside and change the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the select tool again, like that, and I'm just going to go ahead and create, whoops, and create some kind of, you know, you know, like a pattern, let's say like squares that I'm kind of picking out and making them a certain color. Okay, and now maybe I can go ahead and take another color, let's say something like this, and then I can go ahead and take the opposite side. So to select multiple objects, you hold Shift while selecting them. So this is what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to pick something like that. And also these shapes kind of remind of the pattern of the chocolate, you know, how it has this these squares in them. Okay, chocolatey, chocolatov. Yeah, brick-like pattern, exactly. That's right, Joterma. Okay, we have chocolatey, we have sweet delight, we have chocoleta, we have recoleta, we have chocotillo, we have Coco Choco. I think Coco Choco is really nice. Let's see how this looks, Coco Choco. Coco Choco. Koko Choco. And what I'm doing here is I use the type tool. So I just click on that and then make a rectangle and creates me a type box. And here, as you can see, it's very tiny right now, so I'm going to decrease the typeface size to this. And you know what I can also do is I can go ahead and go into fonts.adobe.com, and here we can look for some fonts for us. Okay, quickly log in. All right, and now we can already browse fonts is what I'm gonna do. And so let's maximize this. So let's type Koko Choco. Koko Choco, and now we can already see some amazing typefaces that will be actually really cool with our brand. This one, MVB Siren, is actually really good. Let's view the family. And now we can see there is a bunch of different typefaces that we can pick from. So again, I'm going to put here Koko Choco. And of course we can make these, we can decide if Choco is written in caps or if it's just written in like that. So I think this typeface will work really well. Serene text, MVB bold, old style figures. I'm going to activate this one. And in addition to that, I'm going to pick one that's a little bit more, that's not that bold. So I'm going to pick this Serene text MVB Roman old style figures. So I'm going to activate this one as well. Okay, and maybe I can also get an italic version of this typeface. So let's activate this one as well. All right, and now we're gonna go back to our Illustrator. And if we look, how was it? Serene, let me see. What was the brand, the typeface again? Oh, what did I do? Where did it go? Oh no. Okay, let's do it again. Oh, it's probably, no, doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, here it is. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm not the techiest person in this world. Okay, so this was Siren 18 MVB italic. Okay, so we go back to Illustrator and we go on to Siren. And here we already have our typefaces. Our typefaces kind of organized. Cool, Koko Choco, yeah, I agree. Will this live be up in the channel later? Yes. Okay. So sorry for all of you guys where you have Ramadan. I'm sorry to make you want chocolate. So very sorry about that. But this is mostly, we're not gonna go too much into chocolate pictures, hopefully. Well, let's see. Okay, so let's get into this. So we have our typeface. I think this looks already really great. Let's see how we can, if we can maybe use a different one for this word. Let's see how this looks. Koko Choco. Let's see if all caps works for us. It's all about experiment, guys, you know? Or we can see, okay, I already selected all caps, so I have to kind of deselect it here. Then it will be unlocked again for me. Choco. Like this maybe, and maybe all the same typeface, bold. What do you guys think? It is kind of cool, right? Koko Choco. It has a very nice sound to it. I really like this. How about we create some variations of this real quick? We are also in time pressure, just to remind you. Okay, all right, so let's continue with this real quick. So this is, I think this is going to be it. We're going to create a different variation of this, maybe something like that. we're going to center align this so the words are kind of exactly above each other, and then we're going to decrease the spacing between the lines here a little bit. Maybe something like this. I think this is already better. So it kind of looks like the words belong together, you know? Okay. And then we can also create a variation where we kind of already only use the... okay. We can also play with the O's here, actually. Let's outline this. Command Shift and O, and now we only have the letters as vectors. Now let's ungroup it. Shift, Command, and G. So now we can move around the letters the way we want it. I just wanted to see if there is a way to experiment with the alignment of the letters, so we can kind of put these together. Oh, look. Look. This is kind of cool already. Okay, let's see how we can maybe rearrange this a little bit. Okay, it is interesting, but I'm not very satisfied with it yet. I like the way Koko kind of looks, but I'm not convinced with the Choco part. Let's see if we'll find a way to kind of put these together like this maybe. And by the way, you can feel free to modify the letters the way you want them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it yet. Let's delete this. Let's copy paste again. Let's try again. Outlines, then ungroup, Command Shift and G to ungroup. Maybe I just want to put these three letters a little bit down so I can create some kind of relationship here. And I always like to zoom out, guys. It always helps to understand how this is moving here, how this is, you know, how it looks from far, and if it's legible or not. So I always think that's very helpful. Maybe something like this. That could be cool. All right, so let's make sure that these letters are aligned perfectly underneath each other. So I'm going to select both the O's, and I'm going to go into Align and Horizontal Align. And now these letters are perfectly above each other. And the same thing I'm going to do with these O's as well, because I feel like the O's are kind of the... Ooh, I have an idea. Oh, okay. So the O's kind of remind me of chocolate beans. And chocolate is made of chocolate beans. So how about we create something that has to do with the O's? That would be also really cool. Let me quickly work on this K here for a second. So I'm going to select the direct selection tool, and I'm going to select these couple dots here, and I'm going to pull this K kind of in here a little bit, just so it gets a relationship to the other part of the letter. Right? So I'm just going to pull it in here all the way. And now it kind of works. I feel like this works better than before. What do you guys think? Okay, and we also have to move on because we have a very, very little amount of time. Oh, this K is also cool. But I want to leave it like that for now. And now, since we already have a logo, and let's actually copy paste this O, and we can work on something with the O, like a little pattern maybe. So let's say this is our O, and I'm going to Object, Pattern, Make. All right, and now I can, make a pattern out of my O, which we can use later on our packaging maybe. Let me make this way smaller, and also I'm going to change it to break by row maybe, or maybe something else. Break by column. By the way, this menu pops up automatically if you are creating a pattern, and you can always access it and change the pattern. Oh, this is actually better. Hex by row. Okay, So let's see if we can make it even smaller. Okay, we can save this as a pattern. And I like the way the little lines inside the O kind of align to a new line. Line, so many lines. Okay, Crystal saying that's very playful, that's what we're here for. It's all about experiment and all about playing around. And then don't forget, after you're done creating a pattern, click done. And now our pattern is actually saved in our swatches. So to access the swatches, you click on window and then you go down here to swatches. And here we already have our pattern as a little new swatch. So whenever now we want to fill a whole surface with this pattern, we can create just a surface and then we can click on this swatch and it already contains our pattern, which is super cool. All right, and then we can also work, what I like to do is, you probably know this if you were attending my daily creative challenges on Behance, I like to decrease the opacity of things like that to create a pattern that's kind of a little bit more, you know, transparent and that can go on top of other things. So let me do this right now. Okay, so we have a logo already, and let's continue working on this real quick because I'm not very satisfied with this yet. It kind of looks a little weird. Okay. Actually, let me quickly minimize this and let me make another version of this. Right now it does look very colorful and playful, but I want to have something more elegant. So let's do this, and I'm going to slice it up again with my pencil tool, or you can also, I believe there's also a slice tool, but I forgot where it is. But there is like a knife tool and it does basically the same thing, but it may be a little bit quicker. Okay, so let me do this kind of like this, more like liney pattern, like that. And I'm just going to go up and down and up and down like this, like that. And you know how when you break a piece of chocolate, it's never straight? So that also something I will want to recreate. All right, so let's do the same thing. I'm selecting the pencil, my pencil stroke and the rectangle in the back, and I'm going to here onto Pathfinder, and I'm going to divide this. So now again I have this divided thing here, and I'm going to ungroup this, Command Shift and G, ungrouping it, and now I'm going to remove all the excess things here. And now I have this pattern that's divided in lines. So what I want to do is I want to create different colored lines. So let's say I want to make this one, and this one, and this one. Ooh, let's see. I want to pick every second one. Oh my gosh, this is too complicated. Okay. Unclick, 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 unclick. Okay, now I want to make those that I've selected white. Woo! Okay, this is cool. I like this already. I like this, I like this. Let's move one of these over here. Bam, create something. Here you can see there's a lot of white space. So what I can do is either I can move these around or I can just turn them around. So why not? To create a little bit less white space. All right, so this looks kind of cool already. So now let's place our logo. Okay, we have to group the logo, of course. Command G, and we group this. And now we can already put it on top. And where's our logo? It's in the back. Ah, okay, so we're going to put our pattern in the back. For that, right click, arrange, send to back. And now we already have kind of our logo and the pattern. Let's create some more patterns, and we are already at 32. We kind of have very little time, but okay, let's do one more, and then we can go we can jump onto maybe creating some mock-ups real quick. Okay, Koko Choco, we might need some more information with that, so let's see what they say here. Chocolate, milk chocolate. Okay, so let's also create kind of like a little box like that, and let's make it white. we kind of gonna go with an example of the other brand. Okay, and okay, let's group all that, Command G, and send it to the back, arrange, send to back, and then we're going to send these two to the back, arrange, send to back. And now we kind of have our logo in a little square, so we can adjust the size of the square here also. And let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and now let's add our information. And for our information, we're going to use the serene, the little italic one, because I kind of think it works together. Judging my saying looks so much better than the first version. Yes, it's all about minimalism, right? The less colors, the better. Okay, so I would say it says milk chocolate. Oops. Milk chocolate. This typeface is kind of nice. I like this. But what I don't like is that the typeface is really, the letters are very close to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the tracking between the letters. So there is a little bit more space between them. I'm going to go onto the character styles here, and I'm going to decrease. And as you can see now, it's way easier to read. It's way more calm on the eyes. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and just put it underneath. How elegant is that? All right, now for a little variation, let's try a different typeface. Maybe that will work better. Let's try Acumen Variable Concept, one of my favorites. For those of you who are following me for longer, you probably already know that I really love using this typeface because it's so versatile. Yeah, this is good. Let's see if this can be even better. So what do you guys think? Top or bottom? 1 or 2? Okay. All right, so as long as you guys deciding on that, I'm going to add another little box here that will say the amount. Let's say, how much does chocolate have? How many grams or how many ounces? Oh, look. And also we can add a little thing that says cacao, how many percent cacao. Okay, let's do that instead. Let's do that instead. And let's say, what's the percentage that is probably good? 50% cacao, let's say. 50% cacao. And now let's make this all caps. And let's make this a little bit less, how do you say, less tracked, or with less tracking. And I'm going to decrease the size here as well. And I'm going to divide those in 2 lines. Of course, I don't want this much space between them. So now I'm going to decrease the size of the 50%, kind of like that. So it's just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make this even smaller. You know what? I'm going to take this to 0. And this one I'm going to take to 100. Yeah, this is way better. See how the legibility kind of gets better, and I'm making the 50% also bolder. So now this kind of works. All right, let me make another one that is a little bit smaller and has a black outline. By the way, the outline stroke you can also decrease the size for. You can do it, make it 0.5 like that. So now I have a little frame, and inside the frame it says how much cacao is in it. Isn't that amazing, guys? Isn't that amazing? Maybe option 2 is better. Yeah, I believe so too. Okay, all right. It's just the legibility is better, and also now it kind of fits to the bottom part. Okay, guys. So we do have something here. Let's see how we can apply this to a mockup. All right. So now I'm going back to my thing here, and let's go to start.adobe.com, and let's see if there's any chocolate here. We need templates, or let's say, okay, we're actually looking for a mockup for Photoshop. So let's say I'm gonna type chocolate packaging. Ooh, okay, we do have some here. That's good. That's good. That's good. Chocolate. Let's put chocolate mock-up. All right. Oh, this is nice. This is what I want. This is what I want. Is this a Photoshop? Yes, it is a Photoshop. 3 chocolate bars mock-up. Yes, license. Mine. All right, so now we are going to jump into Photoshop. And actually, let me... okay. Actually, let me create 2 more patterns so we can fill these 3 patterns. And let me just grab this one and transform it to different colors, because why not? All right, just copy paste, select. So now I have this grouped, so I'm going to ungroup this, Command Shift and G, and I'm going to select only the orange ones, and I'm going to make those orange ones a different color. Let's say this one, and I'm going to call it not milk chocolate, I'm going to call it dark chocolate. Okay, and then what else? What kind of chocolate can we have? What kind of chocolate can we possibly else have? Let's say milk. Let's say caramel chocolate, because why not? Caramel, we have that one already. Yep, yellow works. Let's say caramel chocolate. Or you know the chocolate that comes with peanuts? Okay, let's put caramel for now. All right. Yes, this works pretty well. What I want to do is I want to align this so it's nice and centered. I'm going to outline these caramel chocolate thingies, Command Shift and O, Command Shift and O, Command Shift and O. And then I'm going to select these 3 objects, and I'm going to make the frame, the key object is just, if you just once more click on this outer object, it becomes the key object. That means that whenever you align things that are selected with this object, the other things are going to be aligned towards this object. So this object stays in place. Everything else moves accordingly. So now I've selected these and I've made the frame my key object, and now I want to center this. So I go into Align, Horizontal Center. Now everything's aligned perfectly in the center. I'm going to do the same thing here. Select all 3, then not press Shift anymore, just click once on the outer frame, and I'm going to do the same thing, center line, and same thing here, key object and center line. Okay, look, so we already kind of have, let's change the amounts of cacao, of course. Let's say this one has 40% and dark chocolate has a little bit more, so it has 70%. All right. All right, guys, so let's take these over to our Photoshop. For that, I'm going to create a library here. So, Choco, I'm going to create a library. If you go here onto the libraries, you can click Create New Library, and I'm going to name this, of course, Choco. Create. All right, so now I'm going to select my objects. I'm just going to group them just in case. And I'm just going to pull them into my library. And now I already have my artwork saved inside my library. Of course, it's not very clean. I see there is little things that are not very well done from my side, but whatever. We'll do a quick tour today, so it doesn't have to be that detailed. So guys, we have 3 packagings now. Let's apply them to our Photoshop mockup that we just downloaded. Rahul is saying, okay, you guys we're still debating about option 1 and 2. Can you explain if Adobe Stock Mockup usage is free to user, or do you need an extra paid account on stock next to your Adobe account? Well, you can actually use any type of mockups. You don't have to get them in stock. I have I have some stock credits, so I'm using those. Yes, it's not all content is free. There is some free content, but it's very little. So just look for it. If you don't find it, in the free content, you can definitely check out other mockups. You don't have to stick to the stock. So what I want to do is I want to open my mockup. So I click on to open, and I have it in my downloads here. So I have here my stock. Okay, open. And now I have my 3 designs. Woo, so exciting, guys. Okay, so I have my library created. I'm going to maximize this. I don't need this part here. All right, so what I need to do is here on the right side, you will see there's the 3 different bars. And when you click on this little arrow, it shows you all the options for the different bars. So, and usually mockups tell you which layer to put the artwork on. So here it says place art here. So you double click on this little mask here. It's like a smart object, and now you already have this pattern that's been placed here before, but I want to put my own pattern. So I'm going to go onto my libraries and grab my designs that I've already had. So I'm going to go onto Koko Choco. I'm going to grab one of my designs, place it in here, and I'm going to just decrease the size. I know I was not looking at this before, so my size is not precise. My size is not precise, but this will work for sure. Okay, all right, let's see if this works already. So I placed my artwork now on my mockup, on this layer. Oh, this is not centered, but whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to close this layer, and I'm going to click on save, and my mockup is already kind of applied to this. Of course, you see there is this little label that's still on top, but I can also turn this off. There it is. So now I have my own design applied to the mockup. Now let's do this same thing for the other ones as well. So I'm going to click on chocolate bar 2 on this little arrow here, and I'm going to go on to place art here, double click. I'm going to make the layer invisible that's already basically filled with artwork, and I'm going to place my own artwork here in the middle. Of course, guys, this is all not very precise. This is not something I would present to a client, but I just want to show you guys how to work between different applications. So, so this is the whole goal of this stream. Okay, so I'm gonna close this, save, and this one is already applied. So now I'm just going to remove the label that's already been applied here. Okay, and now we're gonna move on to chocolate bar number 3. And I'm going to go here onto place art here again, double click, remove this pattern, put my pattern in. And by the way, now in the newer versions of Photoshop, you don't even have to click shift to resize something proportionally. So this is, I think, really great. It automatically kind of resizes proportionally for you. Okay. So to improve this brand, I will probably create different patterns for different colors. But since we are very much in time pressure now, this is something, you know, I just quickly wanted to show you guys. So now we have a mockup, and this mockup we can also save to our libraries. If we go ahead, let's see, maybe we can just, can we just save this? Okay, let's see if we can create from image. Oh, never mind. Okay, let me just try and select. I need my libraries a little bit separately here. Okay, let me select all of these layers here and try and drop them in here if that works. Okay. Oh, that's actually cool. So now we have our design here as a mockup without a background though. If I drop it in here with a background, so if I select all the 4 layers and drop them in here, I will have them with the background. Hopefully you guys can see this, maybe not. Let me just try to zoom in here. Okay, it doesn't work. Anyway, so now we have 2 designs here, 2 mockups, and for the worst case scenario, if nothing works, I'm going to export this one real quick. So I'm going to go into File, Export, Export As, and export as Jpeg. Let's say I don't need that high resolution, but doesn't matter. For now, this will work. Export, and I'm going to export one version. Koko, Choco, mockup, white background. Okay, I'm going to save it to my desktop. I've never saved mockups like this in the libraries, that's why I wasn't sure. But let's quickly remove the background here and just keep it as a, you know, as background free PNG file. So I'm going to go again onto File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. Actually, let's go into Extended Export, Export, Export as. And now I'm gonna go ahead and pick the format being PNG. And yes, we want transparency, so of course we want this little thing here checked. Okay, export. And this one we are going to call Koko, Choco, no background. Okay, all right, so we have our two mockups. Now we are going to jump into XD. Let's give it a little bit of, you know, animation. Let's create some cool things with it. Let's see what we can do it. Thank you so much. Geotermizing looks really nice already. Very modern, minimal look. Thank you. Cool. All right. So let's minimize this for now, and we don't need Illustrator for now. We are going to jump into XD. All right. So now we have this start window here. So what I want to do is I want to create, let's say we want to create a little website mockup for the, oh, actually, you know what I forgot? I forgot to put the logo in here, which is very important. Let's put the logo here, ungroup, Command, Shift, and G. And I'm going to just grab the logo and drag and drop it into my library again, so I can access it later. And then also elements like this maybe, or let's say I just want this pattern, so I'm going to drag and drop this pattern only into the library. As you can see, it appears right here, and I'm going to do the same thing here with this pattern. Oh, actually this is grouped, so Command, Shift, and G, and I'm going to drag and drop this in here as well. So see here, I have only the patterns that I can use for my designs. All right. And this one as well. So I have all the colors. I have everything I need so far. And maybe I can take the O here as well as an element. Could be. Maybe we'll use it. Okay, and we have the O here as our artwork. And maybe we'll need something like that also. Who knows? Okay. So I also drag and drop my pattern here. And I'm going to also drag and drop a version where it's fully, where it's in full opacity, just in case I need it. Who knows? All right, so I have a pretty good library now. So let's jump into XD now. So I'm going to create for the iPhone because I want to create a mobile version of a website. So I'm going to click on this iPhone thing here, and it already starts with presets that I'm actually going to be using. So I'm going to maximize this page here, and I already see this is XD, guys. Welcome to XD. It looks very simple, but it's not. It can do very complex things also. So here on the left side, you will find the toolbar with the most basic design tools. Here you will find the pen tool, the line tool. You can make a triangle, circle, a rectangle. There's a type text tool. Then there's an artboard tool, so you can modify your artboards, rename them, copy paste them, and so on. And there's a zoom tool, but I can zoom in with holding option with the mouse, dragging it to the front or to the back. All right. So now you can see also there's different other things here at the top. So there is the design part that we're going to go through, but there's also the prototype and share part. So the prototype part is there to create animations, for example, or to create different actions between artboards. gives the artboards a relationship. For example, if you're creating an application, you have the starter screen, then you click a button, then you get guided to a different screen. So basically, prototype is to determine the relationship between these artboards. So where do you have to click to get where? And here you can finally basically decide where which decision goes to and where which action goes to, and this you do with these little arrows here. So later on we are going to have multiple artboards and we are going to connect those later on. And then we also have the share button, and here we can share our work for development or for review, or just, you know, just create a link for somebody to look at this work and maybe comment and maybe give feedback. And maybe even test, you know, if it's an application, usually after the first couple designs it gets tested, so a potential user tries to go through the application and gives feedback if everything is understandable so far. All right, so let's do this. So we have our artboard here. It's so empty right now. So now what we are going to do is we have assets here, we have our libraries here. So if you click on here on this little thing here, on this little square, it says assets, and here you can access your different assets. And one of the assets is the CC library. And here I can access all my projects, and here I can access the artwork that I have just created. So let's put this on. Let's put this on. How could this look like? Let's say the starter screen could look something like this. Let's say we're gonna pull this in here. It looks blurry right now because it's loading, but it's going to be in full size actually. All right, so now we have this little pattern in the background, and let's put our logo in here as well. Coco Choco. Let's say Coco Choco has an application, has their own application, and they want people to order chocolate online. All right, so now we are placing this. The good thing is here in XD, you automatically have these guidelines. They kind of tell you, okay, this is the middle of the screen. Okay, this is the other middle vertically. And you already can really easily kind of put something like this into place. And I'm going to create my little rectangle again. I'm going to remove the border here. Fill can stay the same. And I'm going to put this send backward. All right, so now I have my little logo here in front of this little rectangle. Okay, so now I have my thing here. Let me move this a little bit to the side. It looks kind of cool right now. Okay, so now what I can do is let's say I'm going to create a new screen. So I'm going to go into this artboard, click on here, and I'm going to hold Option, click and drag it to the side. So now I have created a new artboard. And now let's say I want to create a little animation where my logo goes up. So I'm placing the logo up, and underneath there will be a little button or something that says, let's say, welcome to Coco Choco. Okay, so I'm just going to create a text box, and I'm going to write welcome. So this is the welcome screen, let's say. And I'm going to choose here, what am I gonna choose? Helvetica is always good. And let's try Proxima Nova. Proxima Nova. And then we're gonna go for bold. And of course the fill, I think it works if we make it black. And then let's make it the text size a little bit bigger. So we can just go ahead and click on the up key on your what's it called, keyboard, and let's center this. Haha, welcome. And it's not only that, let's put this actually here. It's part of this screen now, and then it's moving up. It's moving up. Ah, hey, what's up? Welcome. And then we also have something else. We have a little, what can we put there? See guys, it's also difficult to think and work at the same time. Okay. All right. So let's put this for now, and let's see how this will look on our screen if we animate this. So let's go into prototype, and we're going to select this artboard and select this arrow thing here. Click so it kind of points onto the next artboard. Okay, and now we're going to go. The trigger will be time. So there will be, I don't know, like a 2.2 second delay, and then we're going to click auto animate, and from here the destination will be the second artboard, yes, and it is in and out, and the duration will be 0.8 seconds. So now let's take a look at our prototype. Ah, look, the only thing it didn't do is that I wanted to do is that this part here slides up. So let me remove this one real quick. Let's do this again. I'm going to remove that and remove this artboard, and I'm going to copy paste this artboard. Actually, that was not very smart. Let me just remove this one, and I'm going to copy paste this artboard. And okay, this part is on this artboard, right? Yes, it is. So now I'm going to click Command C, click this artboard, Command V, place it at the top. So now again, let's play this. Okay. Oh, and we also wanted to put this logo further up. So let's go here. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see in our prototype section if we have connected these two. I think they're not connected yet because we have deleted the artboard before. Now let's play this. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. We have to this. Okay, it's already doing that. All right, let's see. So this is how our animation looks like, and it's very, very easy to make. Very easy to make. All right. Cool. We have that. And now, if you want to kind of have it outside of XD, what you can do is here you can click record, and then you can play it. Bam. And it gives you a recording of your interaction. Okay. All right, so actually I was supposed to change that, but whatever. Okay, so we have this little animation of ours. Of course, we can continue with other things, but we are kind of almost there. And let's quickly, so because I promised you guys, let's quickly jump into Dimension, and let's see if we can also use that mockup, our design in Dimension. So let me quickly open Dimension right there. Okay, and now we have Dimension over here. Let me actually minimize this, and we can make it small. So now in Dimension, let's see if we can find a mockup that kind of has our requirements. So I'm going to go back onto my stock, right? And here, instead of clicking on templates, I'm going to go into 3D. And here we kind of already have some chocolate thingies going on. Let's say we want to put our design on something like this. Of course, there's a ton of 3D models out there, guys. So this is not the only platform where you can get 3D models. There is so many, like a lot of platforms where you can get very specific packagings, anything you want. So, okay, so let's say we want to put this on this type of packaging. So I'm just going to click on that. This is it. And I want to license it. So I license the 3D model. It comes with a material. It comes with, you know, the surface is kind of preset to how shiny it is, how much it reflects light. So, all right, so I have my model now, and now I'm going to click here on Dimension. I'm going to click Open, just like we did in Photoshop, very, very similar. So, okay, let's see. I guess I have downloaded this before. Oops. We don't need this one. We need this one. Re-download for free. All right, now it's downloaded. So let's check where it is. Let's check where it is in our downloads. This is probably it. Yes. Okay, so this is the object file. So that's what I want to open. So I'm clicking open and I'm going to my downloads, Adobe Stock. Can we open this? Let's just create a new file and then we just drag and drop it inside. All right. And this is how easy it is. You just drag and drop the file inside, and now we already have this chocolate packaging that we can work with. All right, and here we have this tool called the Orbit tool. And with the Orbit tool, we kind of have this 3D view of an object. So what I want to do is, at first, I want to change the packaging material, the base color, to white, because we are working with white. And now I want to copy paste this because we have 3 different designs, and it's exactly the same thing like you would do in other Adobe software. It's holding option, click and drag to the side. And now we have already 3 chocolate bars. Let's access our libraries, and that you can do. So as you can see, the toolbar kind of reminds a little bit of XD. So if you go onto the starter assets, you can also access the libraries. And here we will also be able to access our Choco library, of course. Okay, so now let's put our designs on top of these chocolate bars. Of course, it's better to put them element by element. I'm risking it right now to put it just as a whole. So just like the other software, you can just scale the objects and they will be automatically placed onto the 3D object. So now I'm holding option to resize this, and I'm holding, no, actually hold shift to resize it proportionally. All right, and we kind of already have it covered. Okay, and the same thing we're going to do, let me just quickly adjust the orbit a little bit so you can better see what I'm doing here. Also, guys, you can adjust the global lighting. You can rotate the light wherever you want it to be. Right now, I feel like it's a little bit too bright here, but that's just because this paper is reflecting a lot. But let's put all of our other designs. So we have the yellow one here. We're going to place it on this object. Literally, all you have to do is just drag and drop it. So it's very, very easy. And then you just click Shift and resize it proportionally on top of the object. All right, put a little bit down. All right, and let's do the same thing with our last one. Just drag and drop it. And of course, this is not the perfect mockup for this, but you can also make your own. You can also go into 3D software, build your own mockup, and put it as an object file into Dimension. So that works as well. And now I kind of have my little chocolate bars already, you know. I can twist them and turn them. So this is actually a good angle. And I'm going to just grab all the objects and I'm going to turn them around in the sphere and see how that looks. All right. Okay, look, we already kind of have our little mock-up here. Now let's get into the rendering part. Let me guys know if you have any questions so far. Jyotirma is asking, I have never used Adobe XD. What is really good for? Is it like a main usage? So XD really is a design software that you can design from scratch with, but you can also prototype. Of course, it's made mainly for people who want to prototype, for you know, creating web applications or you know, web design and so on, and even like emails, everything that has to be coded into HTML. That's what XD is for, to kind of show the design. So that's what the designer works with, and then the designer kind of exports and shares the assets with the developer, and the developer puts them together the way the designer meant to design it. So that's what it's actually for. But XD is free. That's the great thing on that. And that's the reason why I'm kind of encouraging you guys to experiment with it, because it's not, you know, it's not something you have to pay for. So if you're an absolute beginner and you don't have the Creative Cloud subscription and you don't have the money to pay for it, use XD, it's free. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, of course, this is not perfect yet. As you can see, there's these little silver little pieces inside that are not covered with color. That's because I was not perfect in my design, but we can still go ahead and make a little, ooh, I like this. I like this, I like this. And it does look pretty realistic, I have to say. All right, so I'm gonna go into my render part. As you can see here, just comparable to XD, you have the design and the render part. So first you do the design and then you render it. That totally makes sense. All right, export file name, and the export file name will be Koko Choco render. And then I usually do a 1 because most of the times I'm doing more of those. So to make this a little bit faster, I'm just gonna go into and click PNG because PSD probably takes way longer. And I'm going to click render, and now my rendering process started. Hopefully my computer will make it. Yeah, Jyoti, try it out. By the way, when I was in India, my nickname was Jyoti. My friend called me Jyoti all the time. Nick is asking, can you change how reflective the material is? Yes, you can apply different materials to objects. So this object was already kind of designed this shiny. I was, of course, I could have applied different materials, but I think this is probably very realistic for a plastic material like that. So this type of packaging will probably not be made of paper. But yeah, let's see. Our mockup is coming along and we already have 10% done. Let me guys know if you have any questions so far. And we are almost done with the stream. So this is the last part that we are doing. I promise. This was pretty long, longer than I expected. Thanks guys for staying here with me and hanging out. Yeah, nutty chocolate would be also good. It makes me want some chocolate right now with some nice warm tea or coffee. Cool, guys. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this. Would you guys try it out? Would you guys are you guys feeling intimidated by Dimension, or do you think that would be something to try out? Yeah, Jyotirma, you're saying that's amusing. I found out about your project in India on your Behance profile. Yes, I've been working with this organization in New Delhi where we have created 124 homeless shelters. And I was basically designing the homeless shelter, which was like just a family shelter, just like a little tent. And that was completely financed by crowdfunding on Indiegogo, which was super cool. People from all over the world supported this project for us to work on. So over 6 months, we've been creating prototypes, improving them, and then by the end, we had this final design that people can reproduce and build themselves. And then we distributed this design to homeless people, to small homeless families, and we distributed about 124 of these tents. So that was really exciting. That was in, I believe, 2013 or 2014. Cool. Rahul is saying, you say Jyoti is an Indian name. Yes, that's how I was called. It was my nickname in India. Okay, guys, we are 50% rendered, and this looks pretty realistic already. I'm kind of liking this. Of course, you can adjust the amount of light you want, the perspective. You know, you can also put other objects into play. I used to do mock-ups where I put some kind of geometric objects. You probably know what I mean, like colorful geometric objects that kind of are holding the product. So that you can also do. It's really, really easy to use, guys. I can really recommend you guys get into it. And also, this software is not meant to build new things. It's just to create mock-ups. So that was the initial thought of that. So basically, these objects are not, you cannot really modify them. You cannot change them. You cannot do anything wrong. You can just replace them, put them into the right light, you know, create the right arrangement, and then render it. And that's the cool part about Dimension. I was when I was studying in Germany, I was so intimidated by 3D software. So so it made me actually stop wanting to learn it because it was so complicated. And Dimension kind of brought me back into the 3D world, and that's so amazing. All right, let's see how this looks. Yay, we have our render here, ready. Whoop whoop. Can you imagine these are 3D models? I feel like it looks pretty realistic. Of course, you can also change the background, you can change the surface, you can put it as if it's on a table somewhere. Or there is also different environments. Let's take a look at that real quick. So here, when you have your starter assets, you have the shapes, you have the models, and then you also have materials. So technically, I can also make this a matte. Let's say, what can I do here? Substance materials. So there's different materials here. You can literally make something, I don't know. So now it looks like it's marble, but I don't want that. Let's see if there's something that's completely different from this. So here now, see how this got a little structure. Oops. Let's see. So now it kind of it got a little structure here, our little chocolate. And that's because I changed the material. So yeah, you can do several things with it. And here, the cool thing also is you can change the environmental lights. So let's say I want to put something like this here. And now suddenly my whole object looks completely different because it's in a different light, right? Or I can put something like this. All I have to do is just drag and drop the lights, the environment, into my file, or I can put it as if it's like somewhere in the nature, in Topanga Forest, let's say. Okay, environment, yes, there is a background. Okay, yeah, so you can put it in different environments, and you can also add images, like for example table. Let's say I want to put the chocolate bars as if they're laying on a table. Let me quickly change the lighting here because the lighting is it does not look very realistic. So now let's change this, the object here. Let's put it as if it's kind of laying on a table. All right. Something like that. Of course, it takes time to rearrange it a little bit. Kind of like that. I guess you guys get what I mean. So you can literally place it on any different picture. So okay guys, so now let's take a look at the whole thing. We have our mockup here made in Photoshop. We have our mockup made in Dimension. Many of these mockups that you get these days from for Photoshop are actually Dimension mockups. And the cool thing is also when you export something or when you render in Dimension, you can export the Photoshop file as well. So then you can adjust the lighting, you can adjust the color, and so on. So guys, this was a 1 hour and 15 minutes project here. We came up with 3 packagings for different variations of chocolate. Thank you so much for joining me. It was so amazing. You guys, you know, stay tuned, and you guys, yeah, we're here for all this time. So I want to say thank you. You can follow me here on Just Another Sunny Girl on Instagram. Otherwise, I'm hoping to do this more often, and I'm hoping to see you guys soon. Bye bye.